But to start off with, we don't have Janina with us and all. We had Tom sing happy birthday, so I apologize for that, if it causes any digestion issues. But how about we do a little bit, let's sing God Bless America today, just to be a little bit different to start, all right? I don't think for that one, do we need to stand up for that one by protocol? Yeah. All right. I'll ask Ron. No Pete?
Yes.
Okay. All right. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you all very much. Have a seat. All right. On my executive committee, AFAers that are here, so I don't, raise your hands up just so I'm not missing anybody. We got Tim, we got Brian, we got Carl, we've got Kim hiding, running around somewhere. We've got our teachers. I'm going to come back to you all here in a minute. We've got our wonderful teachers of the year, which are our aerospace education vice presidents in the back. I think that's all we have from our team today. We have a lot of folks traveling and all for the summer. But Denise, are you our only elected? Oh, and Don, sitting right next to each other, our two elected folks. Am I missing anybody elected with us?
Look, we've got bipartisan cooperation right here.
I know it, there's an R and a D, aren't we just, we are all about bipartisanship here. They're even sitting next to each other eating barbecue, that's awesome. Fantastic. Also looking around the room, just a few other introductions. Paul Patmara, Major General Retired, thank you for being with us. And Brigadier General Retired, Ron Wilson, KD. Otherwise known as Nopi, and I'll let you talk to him about what that means. But when I showed up here to be the commander of Selfridge, he was the counterpart over at Battle Creek. There was all sorts of issues going on at the time, and I remember I walked up to him, and the first thing I said is, you and I are going to get along together. And we sure have. I don't know, I've never had a problem with him at all. I guess I should phrase that in a positive, shouldn't I? It's always been great working with you. The greatest thing about working with him is his daughter is actually on the board of directors for the AFA National with me there. So I think the greatest thing about Ron is his daughter. So, Gabby, wonderful. All right. Other introductions. Our sponsors, Brian, sitting here in front, always, Harold. Retirement options, if you have any questions. AEW. Wayne, are you in for AEW today, right? All right, you're holding down the fort for the whole group today. It's great to have you with us, all right? And the name of your company, I'm sorry, I'm there. There we go. Anything you want to know about drones? That's the gentleman right here. I think that's all of our sponsors. Did I miss anybody that's present? Rod and Mary, of course, always great supporters. I appreciate that a ton. But last introduction I really want to do as we get going here is one of the things we do in Michigan is every year we have a Teacher of the Year competition. And we look around the state and we find outstanding teachers involved with STEM. That's the criteria that we're looking for, as in your sciences. We have two of our Teachers of the Year that have joined us here in the back, Ashlie and Colleen. But this year, we competed Ashlie again national. And if you all didn't get our emails and everything else, the National Teacher of the Year, focused on STEM and science for the whole country, is Ms. Ashlie Smith. So she gets to figure out how to do this on the fly and everything. But just to say a few words for us and everything, our National Teacher of the Year, first time ever for Michigan, Ashlie Smith.
Coaching me on how to speak publicly. I failed last week with WJR.
No, she did not. She did awesome.
This is a really big deal. This competition is it's rough. Colleen helped me write my application, and Odie was giving us a hard time because we waited until 4 days before it was due to turn it in. And the reason why is because we kept reiterating it, making it better, and we started finding out who was applying. So we knew that I was going up against these 4 other outstanding people from other states, and we just needed to keep tweaking it and making it better and better. I'm just really thrilled that we are now on the map. Our state's on the map, and people are noticing us. He's gotten us nationally recognized with this AFA organization, but I'm excited that now I'm representing education. So thank you, Colleen, for helping me get there, and thanks, Odie.
So next month, Ashley's going to travel back with us to the convention in Washington, D.C., where she'll get awarded her National Teacher of the Year. She's going to do a presentation to AFA National, to our convention of a couple hundred people in National Harbor, talk about why working with kids is so awesome and the great things that she's get to do, the impact she's made on lives. And then after that, Rolls-Royce is going to take her, treat her like a queen for a little bit, I think. They're the sponsors of the Teacher of the Year competition. And then I think we're going to trot her around Capitol Hill and some other places and make her meet Codell folks and everything else. But it's going to be great. I just can't think of a better candidate and selectee than Ashlie in this particular case. Last year, I mean, there's a lot of fun things. They got to go on the tanker flight and everything else. It was last year at the air show, Colleen got to be Thunderbird 8 Bravo. So she actually rode with the Air Force Thunderbirds during the air show. She pulled 9Gs. She flew for over an hour and she didn't barf. We were so proud of that. But then we also took both of them skydiving. The videos of the 2 of them hooting and hollering at each other while they were skydiving and everything, along with the Misty Blues all-women skydiving team, is just worth its weight in gold. So this is just a great way to cap this off, hit the pinnacle and everything else. So thank you for all you do, and I'm looking forward to a whole lot more going forward in the future. But what a great lead-in as we're talking about science to this place where we are right now. I'm going to get Rick up here. I'm going to stop yapping here at you and let them show you this wonderful gem. But as my tenure as a commander at Selfridge, this was always one of my favorite places when I was doing tours and all, was to bring people here because of the amazing things that can happen here, the impact it had on people's lives. And as you're going to hear, it started here, but it's gone a lot further than that. And then with that as the lead-in, I'd like to introduce you to one of the founders of the whole STARBASE program. And then, of course, one of the key figures here, what do you call the site manager? Or whatever here, president, the CEO, the god, the czar, I don't know what you are. But Mr. Rick Sims, this floor is yours. Let's hear about STARBASE and Sims. Oh, and they have really cool keychains up here if you want, part of the 3D printed. These are yours to grab and take, so I got one from my car here, so.
Well, hello, and welcome everybody, and welcome back. I see a lot of familiar faces, some that were out here last year. Before I get started, I want to introduce 2 other staff members that we have here today. We have Jenny Laporte in the back. She's the deputy director and our lead instructor, and I will argue probably one of the best educators in Michigan, if not the country. I will stand behind that. And then we also have Leah. She's our office manager, and she is the coordinator for our summer academies, guru at that. So if you do any scheduling with your kids or grandchildren or whatever in the summer months, Leah's going to be the one that's going to help you out with that. I like to keep things kind of just casual, so if as I'm talking, if there's a thought, comment, question that comes up, feel free to interrupt me. Not a big deal. Alright, so what is STARBASE? We actually exist in U.S. code. There's a lot of words up there basically tells DoD that they can run a youth program at military installations. We like to say, basically take all that, we make learning fun. So unfortunately you don't have the opportunity to see kids in action here today. That really is the best time to see the program, but we do have a short video I'm going to show you here, which will give you kind of a glimpse at what we do with the students. have a pretty good time while they're here at STARBASE. One of your members here, Jim, actually attended STARBASE before we were even in this building. You said it was a very memorable experience, right? Yeah, we were just talking about that at lunch. So welcome back. Are there any other folks here that attended STARBASE? Oh yeah, well, Leah did, yes. All right, so at STARBASE, we're not teaching for mastery, all right? We're working with fifth graders primarily. We are teaching for inspiration, all right? The mastery is going to come later as they get back to higher grade levels. So kind of an interesting story right there. That's Nicolina. She's 21 years old right now. She's a student at Western Michigan University. She came through our program when she was in the fifth grade. She got so inspired that she started working on her pilot's license and got it at right around 15, 16 years old, even before she got her driver's license. She's gone on to intern with Boeing, doing some engineering projects with them, and she's also with the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and so she did an incentive flight with them recently. So again, it goes back to that teaching inspiration, getting somebody excited very early on about their education and what they can do with their education. Because we all know when you're growing up, you're going to be faced with a lot of difficult topics and things that are challenging, but it doesn't mean that you can't do something successful with it. And so that's where we go for the inspiration. All right, how do we do it? So immersive environment. You're going to have an opportunity to walk through the building. Hopefully what you've seen so far feels very immersive. We want those students, the moment that they walk through this door, to know that they're someplace different, someplace special. Hands-on curriculum. So what's nice with our program here, we get to focus on these activities daily, enhance them, be able to buy a lot of the equipment and stuff that isn't ordinarily affordable in a lot of the schools. Again, all to get them immersed, working hands-on, getting them excited, seeing the practical applications of what they're learning about, rather than just doing, all right, here's how you do a math problem, do it 100 times over, but how do you apply that towards these principles? So we want these kids to get messy and dirty. We actually want them to fail as well. We teach engineering design process. A lot of times in school, kids are challenged, right? You have to take a test when you're getting a grade on it. They don't understand that failure is okay. You can learn from that failure. So that's what we teach these students here. And as I pointed out, we already have amazing teaching and support staff. So we can have this wonderful environment. We can have all the equipment in the world. We can have all the lesson plans written up. But as our teachers back there can attest, we can't do it without that talent of the staff. And our staff here is top notch. And I mean that from the heart. They connect with these students. They empathize with the students. So much so, where these kids are complete strangers. On their second visit, we're walking through the door and often giving our teachers hugs. All right? That tells me that we are connecting with them. That's very important to do with these students. All right, just some of our basics. So we operate mostly on school year academy. We get fifth grade classrooms out here. It's a 25-hour curriculum. So the students come out for 5 visits, and usually it's spread over the course of 5 weeks. So the kids will meet at their school. They'll get on a bus. They'll come out here, be out here from about 9 to 2. They'll do that for like 5 consecutive Mondays in a row. We'd like to spread it out that way rather than doing a full straight shot through during the school year, because it spreads out that experience. We've had a lot of parents express to us that it's very difficult to get their child up for a normal school day, but that child is up and ready to go on a STARBASE day because they're very excited to get here. They don't want to miss their bus. So that runs through the school calendar, so we're going to be getting ready to start up with schools this coming September, and we carry that through June. We also do summer academies, so that's for rising 5th and 6th graders, and that one's 20 hours of curriculum. So they're basically getting the same program that you would get during the school year. In this case, parents sign up their children individually, and they're coming out Monday through Thursday. Those we offer in June and August. So if you have grandkids or children They're going to be rising 5th and 6th graders. Go to our website, STARBASE1.org. We post applications the second week of April. You'll want to sign up pretty quickly because, as Leo knows, they fill up probably within a few hours. We also have an advanced academy, so that's rising 6th and 7th graders. That's for students that came out here during the school year, or if they came out in the previous summer academy. And so that's 25 hours of curriculum. We have that hyper-focused on a specific topic. This past couple of years, we've been doing food chemistry, and we only work with 20 students at a time. So these are students that have really been engaged in our school year or summer academies and are looking at extending their experience. All right, STARBASE 2.0 is our after-school club. Currently, we are doing this at Endeavor Middle School. And so they meet for roughly about 20 hours total. The activities that they work on varies. A lot of that's coordinated through the school and the teacher that's there to support. For a few years, we've been doing an underwater ROV competition and other robotics competitions. And then we also do outreach, so community events. We just had one out in Marine City to support like a STEM day out there. We did a STEM family night with some families that were being deployed out here at the base. So it can vary what we do with that. All right, just some of the numbers. We work with 11 school districts. Most of them are out of home county. We do have some Detroit schools that come out as well. 26 schools. Most of them are public. You can see there's a few private. There's a charter. 62 classrooms we serve this year. Ordinarily, we shoot for 64. But we had to cut 2 classes short because I don't know how many of you are familiar with the fact that we are federally funded, but they stopped our funds in February. And the first time in 34 years, unfortunately, we had to close our doors between February all the way up to the beginning of April. So we weren't able to get in all of our 64 classrooms, but we did a pretty good job getting the 62 in. And as I mentioned before, we got our summer programs, and that's what we're going to see. So much tremendous. All right, so we are not just local here at Selfridge. It started here. And Jim, maybe this is the building you recognize. So that was our first building we got into. It was literally marked as condemned. It was an old barracks that were converted into office spaces. We made it work. We had a lot of DRMO, reutilization of old desks and chairs. But we always had dreams of growing larger. So it was under a Kellogg grant. So at that time it was called Project STARS. That began in 1991. And then in 93 we got our federal funding, and then it started to grow throughout the nation from there. So that's currently where we stand as of today. There were slightly more than 90 locations, but during that shutdown period this past late winter, early spring, we lost some locations. You can see we do have some Space Force and Air Force installations for all the AFA folks there. And we did have one in Guam, but they just closed down. The territory that it's in now is Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's just kind of an overview. You can see we're hitting a lot of the different military services as well. All right, let's zoom back in a little bit at a local level. So there's 3 sites in Michigan. Started here at Selfridge, and I believe it was 2006 we went out to Battle Creek. And then we also put one up in Alpena. That was around 2012. So all of the programs in Michigan are run through STARBASE Inc. We're a nonprofit organization, and we're all employees of STARBASE Inc. And we have an agreement with TMBA up in Lansing to run 3 programs here. We do get our funds through DOD. They give us primarily most of the funds that we need to operate, but since we're a nonprofit, we can also get grants, we can get donations and so forth. And that really became evident this past year because once the federal funds stopped, we had to close our doors, we had to furlough staff. And so we're trying to find other means of building up our coffers where the nonprofit is sustained if we find ourselves in a similar situation in the future. So there are ways that you can get involved. So you can facilitate these connections through sponsorship, in-kind donations, maybe organizations that are looking at supporting a STEM-based program. We can certainly talk with them. I mentioned in those outreach events, so if there's some sort of STEM-based outreach event that you're involved with, if you want to get set up, give us a holler. We do them on weekends, we do them on evenings and so forth, but we are here to support that. If you're looking at different grants, all right, we just got a grant through Michigan Economic Development Corporation. We're aligning up with some businesses to work with that and working with some schools where that money's going to get infused to so they can do STEM-based learning, real-world STEM-based learning, working with engineers, equipment and curriculum upgrades, if you're interested in sponsoring any of that. And I mentioned the 2.0, the after-school program, we're always looking for mentors and role models to assist with that as well. So if that's something that interests you, again, just reach out, let us know. And definitely promote STARBASE. If it's something that you believe in, get the word out there, okay? We found that we had to do a lot of educating this past year when we were shut down. And so we can use help from folks like yourselves to get the word out and share what it is that we do here. And certainly, obviously, talk with community leaders, policy makers, and so forth. For this upcoming fiscal year, they're trying to get $53 million to operate all 85 locations. My understanding is the Senate appropriations, the full appropriations bill, they put us in at 20. The House put us in at 53. That puts us in the same basket we were at this past year when we had shut down. So we're hoping to avoid that. That's all I really have. Are there questions? I want to give you guys an opportunity to walk throughout the building, have an opportunity to speak with Jenny and Leah and myself. Yes?
What's the total budget to operate this place for a year?
So this location here, we're at I think for like $845,000 for next year's request. And it can vary from location to location. Our Alpena location, they have a one classroom site, so they're a little bit less over there. Battle Creek is a little bit lower than us, but similar to us. Anything further? All right.
So before they start touring and everything else, the one last thing I would bring up. After our visit here last year, the discussion came up about increasing the throughput here because there's a lot of students who want to participate in this program but they can't. They're at a capacity issue. So we talked with them. There is a blueprint, I don't know what else we would call it, to potentially expand by 2 more classrooms of this size, which would basically double their throughput of students at STARBASE One. What we're waiting to find out is what's the future going to be and all that before we look at trying to do any type of a capital campaign and all. But that's kind of an interest of what we're looking at this point, is that STARBASE is going to be here, going, thriving like it has been for so long in the future, potentially helping them plus this up so that it can impact twice as many students as it has in the past. So more to come on that, just where our dog in the hunt is a little bit with us.
Sure, and again, like I said, if you want to help or know of organizations, whether it's grants, in-kind donations.
I see Representative Mentor's going to get us $2 million right there.
Excellent.
We've always been supportive, buddy.
For any grants, if you contact us, I can get a good bipartisan coalition of people to sign up that, sign up for grants and grants.
Okay, excellent.
I would be really happy to facilitate that. I have some of my habits. I spend a lot of time here. So anything that you need, we will route you and intimidate everybody on the house floor to sign a letter of support.
Well, and I appreciate that, and the first thing I'll need is get your contact information, so I'll meet you after.
And the second thing is, we had sponsorships last year for the tour of the National Space Museum, right?
Right.
The Museum of the Air Force. So why are we doing sponsorships for this?
We are looking at trying to is open and the students can enroll. I don't know how, I mean, any money that they could get in here would be useful. I mean, I'm not going to say that. We, as AFA, we're looking at this from the terms of a capital campaign to help them expand. But any type of funding and all to help them complete the mission.
There are people that I can stand around and intimidate and stuff.
We will accept into that.
Mr. Lampard.
Woody, my question originally was the budget, but what is the capital campaign? That's equally important.
Well, I think the estimate to expand the building to the 2 more classrooms and all, everything else in here is actually to capacity. I mean, it's expandable, all the other facilities in here, but I think the rough number with on-base and how they do it was the number I just threw out when I talked to Denise there, was about $2 million. Would expand this to be able to double the throughput. Am I saying that correctly?
You are saying that correctly.
So I just wanted to point out, in the office of Congressman John James, we have a grants person, so we'd like to come and talk to you. See if there's anything available within the federal budget, any of the departments.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. I mean, it's wonderful that we get the DOT funding every year. You know, but the real shame is that if that money doesn't come through in full, we're losing an asset that's been here for 34 years. And I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but we are experts at this. We take pride in it, and I think we have a very good program that we offer. So I would welcome, you know, looking at other opportunities, just so we aren't so dependent on DOT funds.
Yeah, we've always been supportive of your program. Absolutely.
Well, put your money where your mouth is there, buddy.
We can. We won't go to the rest of it, Odie.
All right.
Anything else before we give you an opportunity to explore? When you do explore, just, you know, feel free to walk throughout the building. There's the 3 of us here today. We'll make ourselves available, try to answer any questions you have.
All right, so we're ready to tour?
We are ready to tour.